Gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Scott's recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman. And Secretary Yellen, you remember the last time you were here, I raised concerns about the balloon going over the United States by China and how concerning that was. Since that time, this issue of national security and agriculture is going hand in hand. Our Farm Bill and my good friend Chairman G.T. Thompson and I, our two leaders on ag, have framed this as a national security issue. And here's why. The FBI has now labeled the Chinese government's action as the greatest threat when Director Christopher Wray warned us in April that he said, and I quote, that Chinese hackers have infiltrated U.S. critical military and infrastructures and are now poised to cause significant damage at any given moment's notice. So we've got a national security issue here of soaring magnitude. And we're working in a bipartisan way, obviously, to solve this problem. So I want to ask you some specific questions here. Under your proposal going forward, you have now more than 50 new facilities that will be added to the list of sites where surrounding property transactions may be reviewed by the Committee on Foreign Investments, and now it's totaling 227. So I want to thank you. You all are moving, and this has to be our number one national security issue, largely because it's a delicate dance. Many people don't know. We do know China is our greatest threat, but it is also our greatest and largest trading partner. So it's a very delicate dance that we have to do. Now tell me, how did your committee ultimately decide which military bases would be included in this latest expansion?
We worked very closely with the Department of Defense in issuing the notice of proposed rulemaking that came out yesterday, and they undertook a comprehensive assessment of military installations and considered a number of factors, operations, assets, missions, training at each installation, and what was appropriate in terms of coverage under CFIUS.
Pardon me, I want to get to a couple more. My understanding is that 3 or more military installations were removed from that list.
Congressman, my understanding is that nothing is actually removed from the list, but when areas were expanded or new bases were added to the list, some existing bases may have fallen within the radius of another base that either was expanded or added. I don't think that there were any bases that are actually removed.
Okay, now let me ask you this. To the best of your knowledge, is there any indication that the Chinese government is looking beyond land purchases and farmland and expanding into buying either other types of small businesses around military bases? And I also want to thank you for working with my staff on this issue, and I hope that we continue to work together because it is now the number one issue facing us as far as agriculture is concerned. and now is for the whole national security of our nation.
So I can get back to you on whether or not we're looking
Okay.
at small businesses.
Thank
but
you.
I believe that would be within the scope of CFIUS.
I look forward to working with you.
Gentleman's time has expired. Recognize the gentlewoman from California, Ms. Kim, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman. Secretary Yellen, thank you for joining us today. As you know, the